Alright, hey YouTube, it's time for another video. Decided to start this video in midst of me fixing this. I was like, hey, maybe I should turn on the camera. Just fixing this little cheap remote. The battery door got lost a long time ago, and it took one of those crappy little 3-volt cells. So, I just finished tacking the battery clip on there, and I'm getting ready to hot glue it down. It should last significantly longer now. So, I'm going to be doing a couple things during this video, hopefully. Even though I wasn't able to record videos for the past few years, I have been working on other projects, so I'm going to update you on some of these other projects I've been working on, or have done, or what have you. So, I'm going to tack this down while I talk. Make sure it don't budge free, and the battery life on this ought to be exponential, running 2 AA's. So I'm gonna set that aside to cool, and this remote actually goes to one of the projects that I finished playing with. You can see an update from my last video. With my tax return, I decided I wanted a new gaming keyboard, so I got the Logitech G910, and I got a new mouse too. So, but this was given to me. Let me unplug this hot glue gun. This was given to me by a friend. Their dog actually chewed through the power cord. That's why there's not one on here right now, because I've already modified this. This is one of the things I've modified while I was not able to record videos. So, it's a disco light, and what happened is their dog chewed through the cord. So I opened it up to see what's inside. Actually, I'll open it up again for you. Screwdriver. But that's what this remote goes to. And the screws, kind of awkward to get to. There's plates right in the way, but they're half easy to get out. So, pop this open. It does have DMX on it, which I can't really test DMX because I don't know or have the means to produce a DMX signal or quite understand it yet. So, I'm not really into the software end of electronics that much. I'm trying to get to it, but not really that far into it. I just want to screw out because knowing my luck it'll fall out later. I'd rather it not fall out. I'd rather know where it is. And you can already see a sneak peek of the treasures inside. So I'm gonna set this little plastic dome away, and actually you can see on the keyboard it does its effect. So I'll set that to the side. And this is what's inside. I didn't mess with this too much. I didn't update anything. You got a stepper motor underneath that actually drives this. And here's your DMS jacks. I'm honestly thinking about removing these because I don't really think I'll ever use these. There's your IR sensor. There's the power board. And it's got that typical, 4-button control system on it, and then there's the microphone. The biggest thing I did to this is, since their dog chewed through the power cord, you'll see that there's no mains power board in here anymore, because it was unnecessary. The mains power board, all the mains power board really did is produce 12 volts. This whole thing runs off 12 volts now. I made it to where it'll take a 12-volt power brick. I haven't done a power test on it to see how much current it draws, but it runs easily off of any 12-volt power brick I've had. Actually, we can do that now. Reach over here, get some jumper leads, and get my jumper leads, and hook them up to my homemade power supply. Yeah, give you a better view of that. And That's for the display, so if I turn it on, the green light comes on. And there's the display for these two, which is adjustable with this potentiometer right there. I need to get a new one. This one was kind of cheap. It is a multi-turn potentiometer, but it was cheap, so it kind of skips around a little bit. But we don't need that. This is 12 volts, 5 volts, 3.3 volts, and then this is my adjustable one, which I just used a potentiometer on a boost down, a buck regulator, which bucks down the power, which, you know, it'll provide max 3 amps with the heat sink, but I don't really draw much from it. So, and tuck that back down there and get our power leads. 12, this is ground, 12 volts, and I'm just gonna sneak my wires in here if I can without shorting anything out. I have to keep them out of the way of this solenoid, not solenoid, stepper motor, because it does not like to play well with wires. That's why these wires are wrapped the way they are. This may, actually, I think I'm just going to set the dome on because this may kill the camera. So I'm going to turn it on. And the stepper motor adjusts, it rehomes itself, and there's all the LEDs. It's stupidly bright. It actually does a really nice visible pattern on the ceiling. Actually, if I can pick it up gently, I'll show you. Yep. I'll pick it up gently. Yeah, there you go. You can see the lovely patterns it does, and it does all the colors, and it's got music activated mode, all that good crap. Let me get out my leads and we'll actually test the power. I recently got this new multimeter as well. I was using the cheap Harbor Freight Syntec ones, which, you know, they're okay, but I wouldn't trust them at mains voltage, just like Dave Jones says. But we're just gonna put this on the ground, plug this directly into 12 volts, which is why I decided to use these speaker connectors, and plug this into the 10 amp range just to be safe, because I don't know what this is going to draw, and set it to 10 amps and see if I can't. So actually this thing is only drawing, you know, half an amp running the stepper motor and these 1 watt, I think they're 1 watt LEDs, these 1 watt or 3 watt LEDs. So that's actually not too bad. You know, personally, I think the mains board in there was really unnecessary. I would have preferred this come with a 12 volt power brick. This also means it could be used in cars if you really wanted to. But it's only drawing, it's cycling through all the colors and turning all the colors on and off, and it's only drawing about half an amp. So that's actually pretty good. So I'm gonna unplug that and unplug that. Like Big Clive always says, don't forget to switch your leads back, because you may blow up your meter otherwise. I'm just gonna set this back here in the corner and push the leads out the way, because at the moment we may need them again. I'm gonna unclip these, because that's really all I've done to this. Is it runs off 12 volts now. I put a new jack in it. I may in the future, depending on if it will mess with the colors real bad on the dome, just to make the IR better, I may put the IR on wires and mount it right here in the center. That way it can be received from all angles. But and you'll notice these are offset. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, right there, right there. They're separate distances, so it does have to go on a certain direction, which is fine. We'll line up the holes, and we'll put this back together. And then I will show you another. Actually, I'm going to tell you it's another light that I modified. Also from the same friend. She bought these for her 21st birthday party. And this one, like I said, her dog chewed through the power cord. The other one, she didn't want anymore. It worked fine, but I wanted to take a peek inside of it, so I did. And then, no, she ended up giving the LED strip to someone else. But she gave me these two lights. She's actually going to send me the links so that I can get a couple more of them, because they were cheap. I think she said they were like $10 each. And I mean, for that price, they're well worth buying and modifying for my purposes. So this is done, and this is set. So real quick, I'm gonna reach over here. My bed's right now covered with stuff. Pop in some batteries, and yeah, you see the remote's working just fine. So yes, this remote is good, and it is going to go well with that. On to the next thing. This is the next thing I've modified. It is a I believe it's called a sunflower light. It had a big extrusion on it. It come out to here to house all the mains components again. The mains components, they were there, and I can sort of see why, because it does draw a little bit more power. I have tested this. I just don't remember how much power it drew, but you can see already I've removed a lot of components off of this, and I've laid components down because I plan on shaving this down and making it into a completely flat disc. And right now these are the power wires. First I'm going to show you what it does, and this runs off 5 volts, so USB power. Technically it draws too much power to be ran off USB, but it runs off 5 volts. So I'm going to connect the positive and the negative, and yes, and you can see it sound activated. Sorry, it's shaking the desk, but you can see every time I tap it does it. So it just goes through all kinds of colors like that. So let me remove the screws, and we shall take a look at what I've done to it and the future plans I have for this. Let's leave them in there. Now, yes, you can see there is some support components on the back. I'm pretty sure, without a doubt, these are LED drivers. Most of them anyway, because they all seem to be piggyback to each other. Yeah, and they're going directly out to the LEDs. These are definitely LED drivers. Let's see if I can't see the number. Let me get out from the magical, mystical drawer. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? Yeah, old butane powered soldering iron. I've since upgraded. That's what I used to use, but it's still useful. But my little magnifying ball. So let's see what these are. Ooh, I almost had it. It's laser. It's a SM3. No, it's a SM74HC595D. It's got a really long number on it, and these all seem to be the same. All of them. I don't really see where the brain is, except maybe this little 8-pin chip right here. Maybe. And it is blank. It's probably either a PIC or a microcontroller to store the patterns, and all it has to do is drive these in a series, because the patterns repeat amongst the LEDs. So there's probably not much logic to this. Let's flip it over. I'm going to take this off. And you can see I've removed a lot of components. Transformer, another chip, I think it was to run the transforming side of things. And actually you can see right here where it already had it labeled for me, which was really nice, to 5 volt and ground. I mean, so literally none of this was needed. They have 5 volt and ground right here. And you can see right here in Sharpie where I have it set, where it says auto blink. Well, I've kind of fancy circuit bending, and I thought, well, let's try and short out, you know, some small components to other ones and see if we get a different effect. Well, when I short out that leg of the mic to a leg of one of the LEDs, it actually disables the microphone, and it automatically rotates through everything. Actually, I can show you. If I hook it back up and grab another jumper, I can actually show this to you. So I'm just going to grab another black one because it's near me. And I'm going to hook that up. And I'm going to turn it on. And you can see it's going in one direction. Well, actually, let's see if I can't get it to wait till it goes to the next thing. And then I'll poke the LED. And you'll get to see what it does. So you'll see whenever it changes to the more. There we go. And now actually if I just poke it right there, you can see how it bounces back and forth by itself. No issues whatsoever. And it just, if I do that, it bounces back and forth and does the pattern automatically, which is a nifty feature. So I plan on adding a small switch to do just such a thing. So I can unplug this. So this is one of the other things this is the other thing they gave me. And like I said, I laid the components flat and I just used extension leads. For some odd reason, this diode gets pretty hot when I just used the 5 volt rail. Which, you know, the 5 volt rail was there intended to be used, so I don't know why that diode's getting so hot whenever it's just connected to 5 volts. It must be shunting out a lot of power. So I guess I'll look into that later. Right now I'm gonna try and put this thing back together, and it just goes in like that, and like that, and that. This video I made sure to I turned off the heat just because I got tired of it turning on and making loud noises during the video, so and make it more pleasant for headphone users and you viewers that, you know, sensitive to sound, and it just makes the video sound crappy. So no more heat at the moment. It's nice and toasty in here anyway, so got that thing screwed nice and tight back together. But yeah, you can see this, it stood out about this tall just to house the transformer and everything. Those capacitors even stuck up past this, but I want to be able to, I'm going to shave this off and make a new cover for it so that this thing is seamless and it's just a little disc and it can still be mounted on the wall. And with 5 volts, that means I could make more of these and run them off a 5 volt power brick. And no, I don't mean a cell phone charger, because that would just, that's probably not enough juice, but actually get a mains adapter, maybe a 30 watt 5 volt power brick, and to run a couple of these. So I've been working on this. Let's see. Well, right now that's really only, I really haven't been doing that much, but I have been tinkering and doing my normal stuff. Hopefully you guys like the better camera, because even if you don't, you know, it's what I'm going to be using. It does shoot it does shoot HD. It turns out YouTube only shows it as 720, which, you know, still HD. So, you know, all you HD snobs out there, it's still technically HD. I'll move that out of the way. Unclip these. Let's see, is there anything else that I can think of off the top of my head? Oh, yes. This is for the lamps in my living room. And I want to modify this because a long time ago the antenna broke off, and you can see the buttons have broke from the plastic from being used so much. So I'm going to see if I can't open it up because they're not clicky at all, so I'm pretty sure there's just a membrane or whatever under there. So I'm going to open it up and see if I can't put like tack switches in it and put a new antenna in it, at least an antenna wire, because right now that's the direct mount on the antenna board, so I don't get good signal at all. So see if I can't at least attach an antenna wire and wrap it inside the case. But that will not be for this video because I have to figure a few things out. So for now, I'm going to end this video. Like, subscribe, share, all that good crap if you feel like doing it. If you don't, more power to you. See you next time.